Alright, so different people deal with things differently. And different people have different ideas, each one of them believing their idea is the best one. Now let's say you have to cross a river. And the river is very fast flowing. And there's very limited amount of wood there. There's very limited amount of rocks there. And you need to get to the other side of this river. On the other side of the river is your house. Let's say that the other side of the river is where you're going to live. That's where you're needing to go. And it's pretty fast flowing, it's pretty wide. And all you got to work with is some rope. So you go to Layla Johnson, right? She says that she'll help. So you try explaining what's going on, and she says that she knows what's going on. She gets it. She understands it. She can help you build a rope bridge to get across this thing, which is what's needed. And of course, that was your suggestion to begin with. Let's build a rope bridge, but I need help with it. You know, with my abilities, I'm not a rope builder. You know, I'm not real great at building with ropes, but that's still what needs done. I'm not going to be able to do it by myself, but if I have some help, then I should be able to. Well, Layla Johnson, she says that she knows how to do it, but she just never does. She's great at trying to get other people to help, but those other people don't know what the hell they're doing either. So, at the end of the day, you still don't have a way across the river. So then, you go to Dan Fabert, and Dan Fabert's idea is to give you money. Hey, Sean, you should talk to Layla Johnson, he says. Here, I'll send you some money. And you explain to him that that's not working. And he says, well, you have to talk to Layla about that. That's Dan's way of dealing with it. So, you go to Mandy Hughes. Mandy Hughes says that she's going to help. But the day that you're supposed to work together to build that bridge, Mandy doesn't show up. She says, oh, well, I got warrants out for my arrest. So you try to reschedule it. But you can't because she's still got them warrants. She's still got them warrants. So then one day she says that she's going into the Adams County Police Department. Take care of them warrants. Or let's say she's got her own bridge that needs built. Whatever the case may be, she can't make it. And then her kids are sick. And the hot water breaks, and there's always a reason she can't make it. Now, these reasons are probably valid, she just has shitty luck. But you've invested a lot of time and a lot of your days waiting on Mandy Hughes. Now you go to Miss Peaches. Miss Peaches, well, she says, you know, Sean, you can't build a rope bridge. You just can't do it. A rope bridge can't be built. Yes, Sean, I'll help you build a rope bridge. You just got to show up at my house. So I show up at Miss Peach's house to build the rope bridge. And, of course, she's saying, well, Sean, did you try rowing across in a boat? No, Miss Peaches, it's definitely too wide for that. And I don't have a boat. Okay, Sean, did you try building a wooden bridge? No, Miss Peaches. I don't have enough wood to build a wooden bridge. She says, well, Sean, I'm all out of options here. I don't know how to help you. Well, Miss Peaches, you could help me build a rope bridge. If you actually make some effort with me, we can get this rope bridge built. Whereas Layla Johnson wasn't actually able to show up. She couldn't even see the river. And Dan Favorite wasn't able to show up. He couldn't even see the river. Miss Peaches can see the river. She just doesn't want to look at it. She can see the river. She's just not willing to look at it. Get that through your heads. So because she hasn't looked at the river, she hasn't actually seen it. It's right there for her to see. All she has to do is turn her head and take a look. And it's right there, but she can't see it. Because she's not willing to turn her head. She says she's gonna look at the river. And then she says she'll help you build the rope bridge again. So you show up, and she says, oh, a rope bridge isn't going to work. These other people tried a rope bridge at their river, and it didn't work. Well, it did eventually work for these Mexicans that were trying to build a rope bridge across the river. But there was a bunch of them, and they had video evidence. Well, I got video evidence too. I just need somebody with me to help me build this rope bridge so I can get that video evidence. Well, Sean, did you try maybe building a glass bridge? Miss Peaches, I can't build a glass bridge. Are you kidding me? We need a lot of tools just to make glass. We need a lot of materials just to make glass. That is an awful lot of work. We should just build a rope bridge. And she's like, okay, Sean, I'll help you build a rope bridge. Just show up tomorrow and I'll help you build a rope bridge. And I show up tomorrow and she's busy smoking pot and playing on her telephone. Okay. Well, that's not going to work. So then there's Shannon Alvarado. This is how Shannon Alvarado deals with it. Actually, we'll give one more example for Miss Peaches. Miss Peaches says, you know, you could just let it go. No, I can't. I can't stay on this side forever. The longer I stay on this side, the more trouble I get into for trespassing or loitering or whatever. It's illegal for me to exist on this side of the river. I have to go to the other side. I can come over here for short periods of time, but lingering here will get me in trouble. Okay, Sean, did you try walking around the river? Alright, well, Miss Peaches, the river eventually goes to the ocean, so that's a long walk that way. And going to the mouth of the river, well, I don't know how far up the mountain it goes, or how far upstream it goes. And when I walk around to the other side of it, I don't know how many tributaries there are. I might have to cross 100 rivers if I go around the other way. I might have to cross 100 rivers just to get to the mouth of the river. But that's the idea that she's set on. So, hey, Sean, you should do that. So then there's Shannon Alvarado. Shannon Alvarado, I try to explain to her that, It's a little bit too wide to just jump across it. And it's too fast flowing to use a boat. And there are too many unknowns with going upstream and going downstream. Obviously, you're not going to be able to cross, not going to be able to walk around the river if you go downstream. So, Shannon Alvarado has this great idea of just walking across the river. Sean, why don't you just walk across the river? Well, Shannon, it's too fast flowing and it's too deep and there are rapids there, so it's not a good idea. So, as I'm explaining that, she says, you know, you could just walk across it. So I try explaining again, it's too fast, there's rapids in the way. Well, did you think about maybe walking across it, she says. Yes, Shannon. Yes, that could be a viable option if it was shallow and it was slow moving. But it's not shallow and it's not slow moving. We need to make a rope bridge and we need to launch one end of the rope bridge to the other end of the river. Okay, Sean, I'll help you do that. All right. Well, that sounds good, Miss Shannon. She says, well, if you were here, I'd help you do that. Well, I'm not there, Miss Shannon. Okay, well, did you try walking across it? No, Miss Shannon. That's definitely not going to work. I'm looking at the river right now. You're not looking at the river. I'm explaining to you that it's too fast moving and there are rapids, and yeah, walking across this river is not going to be a happening thing. If I walk across the river, I will drown. And she says, well, did you possibly think about walking across the river? Holy shit, Shannon. Jesus Christ. And then with all these people, of course, I record it eventually. After trying for months and months and months and getting one excuse after another. Now, maybe they're valid reasons. Maybe they're excuses. It doesn't matter. The work still doesn't get done. And I've wasted a lot of time on all of these people who said that they would help. And none of them actually helped. Meanwhile, each of them has little things that they want me to do. Sean, if you do this thing, I'll help. Sean, if you help me with this, then I'll help you. Sean, I tell you what, you start building a boat, Sean, and I'll help you, Miss Peaches says. All right, I'll start building the boat. And I get a boat built. And it'd be nice to be able to use that boat to go across the river. And I spent a lot of time building this boat. And of course, as I'm trying to cross the river, my boat sinks because I ran into the rapids and it gets crushed to pieces. And I am doing my best not to drown. I'm clinging onto a rock, screaming for help. Help me, Miss Peaches. And she's looking the other way. She can't see it because she's looking the other way. She still hasn't looked at the river. She still has no idea what the river looks like. And she is so close to it. All she has to do is look. And I'm screaming for help. And of course, I'm still out there now. To this day, I'm clinging onto that rock, trying not to drown. Miss Peaches, I tried your idea. I tried the building a boat thing. You know, it would have been a lot easier to use what little wood we had to help to get that rope bridge across to the other side. We could have built a rope bridge, like I originally said. Meanwhile, I got proof. Because after the 30th or 40th time of these people saying you should do this and you should do that, I finally started recording it. Finally started recording the things that they were saying to do. And recording the things that I was going through that prevented it. Exactly what I said would happen. I said there wasn't enough wood to build that bridge, but you wanted me to build a bridge across with wood. And I didn't make it very far. And you wanted me to build a boat. I even tried walking around. I've been trying to walk around the river to the other side for over 2 years now. It's not getting me anywhere. It's just wasting my time and it's wasting my resources, and I still have to eat while I'm walking. It takes a lot of time to walk. Meanwhile, I'm running into a bunch of the rivers, the little rivers and tributaries that are coming off of this big river. And I gotta find a way to cross each and every one of those to try to get all the way around. It would have been nice to get some help. Now, I know a rope bridge isn't necessarily the best example that could be used there. But it's the point of the matter. It's the point that a rope bridge is the only safe bridge to go across this. A boat's not going to work, but I still tried the boat. Building a wooden bridge isn't going to work, but I still tried that too. Going around the river's not going to work. But at least while I'm going around the river, I'm trying to find some help. At least while I'm going around the river, I'm trying to keep myself fed. Meanwhile, I said if I stayed on this side of the river, that I was going to have to deal with punishment, deal with being treated like I'm trespassing or lingering. And sure enough, the people that I said would do that did it. Meanwhile, you don't want to hear it. You tell me it's all my fault. I wanted it, needed it, chose it, and deserved it. No, I just want to get to the other side of the river so I can be left alone. This isn't one of those the grass is greener on the other side things. It's a safety thing. The people on this side of the river, most of them are assholes, and just because they're not assholes to you, doesn't mean they're not assholes to me. You have a safe place to go at night. You have your loved ones there. The guy that I'm staying with, I'd like to think that he could help me. I'm just glad to have a roof over my head. I'm glad to have a roof over my head. I'm glad to have food in my belly. But this guy, unlike Shannon Alvarado, this guy didn't tell me he would help me with these things. He didn't tell me he would help me with my court paperwork. He didn't tell me that he would sit down with me and show me how to do these things. All he offered was a roof. The agreement for me staying here was that I go to the food bank. The food bank isn't open till the 13th, so I'm eating his food. I've been eating his food since I got here. Eventually, he's gonna get tired of feeding me. I mean, we're occupying the same living space, and he is absolutely wonderful to me. Shannon Alvarado was wonderful to me as well. While I was at her house, yeah, she snapped at me a few times and yelled at me a couple times. But she was drinking when she did those things. And I had to understand that it was her drinking that was coming from, because she is a different person when she's sober. She is a wonderful person when she's sober. The problem is she's not willing to admit the way that she is when she's been drinking, just like Teresa Orn. Just like many other people on substances, whether it be heroin, methamphetamines, or alcohol. Miss Peaches, I found out when I met her, I found out in the last 2 years, I found out that when I met her, she was dealing drugs. I didn't know that. I knew she was a pot dealer. I mean, she's been a pot dealer as long as I've known her. She's probably still dealing pot. When you gotta do that to make ends meet, despite the fact that you have a job. When you were a single parent, when she's not a single parent, she lives with Raja. But childcare is so damn expensive, one of the parents has to stay home. And yeah, Miss Peaches sold weed. Of course, then there's Aunt B. She sold weed too. I don't know if she still does. But I always played stupid when people would ask about that. Does she smoke pot? Well, I don't think so. Although, I didn't want to say that she didn't, so I just said, well, you'd have to ask her. But yeah, Lana Engeline was my pot dealer. Brenda Dickinson was my pot dealer. Miss Peaches has never been my pot dealer. She's been a sharing, caring kind of person. When I had weed to share, I'd go smoke it with her. When she had weed to share, she'd smoke it with me. Then we got Ken and Leah. These are the most selfish people. Ken is a really nice guy, but he's married to Leah Plunkett, and she is the most selfish person I know, almost. Joshua Abear is pretty fucking selfish. My mother is pretty fucking selfish. I always felt bad for my stepdad. His name is Michael Scott Wade. 'Cause my mom didn't judge him the same way that she wanted to be judged. She could go have sex with whoever she wanted. But if his character on a video game got married to another character on that very same video game, he's gay. He's the devil and he needs to leave the house. And she fucked up his truck when that happened. That's no joke. She went out and smashed up the windshield with a baseball bat because his character on a video game got married to another character on that video game. It was an online video game. And although one of the characters was male and the other was female, the reality of the situation was that the person who was playing the other character was a male and Scott is a male. So Mom took that as Scott was cheating. Meanwhile, Mom cheats on Scott all the time. Scott's brother gave him some swords that he got in Korea. There were some samurai swords, and sure, they're not original samurai swords. I mean, obviously, it's not Japan, it's Korea. But there were dragons that were painted on the side of the scabbards. Mom insisted that Scott throw those away because they were the devil. Just like she made sure that I threw away my revised edition Magic the Gathering cards because there were dragons in it. That's demonic, Sean. I will not have the devil in my house. And then she got addicted to World of Warcraft. And what'd she do? She flew around on a dragon in her video game. Please kill me.